just kind of open ended. You talked about it yesterday and going in. How was last night's practice? How did the team kind of respond first time back out on the field?
I thought the vibe was really good. This is one thing I'll say about our guys. They are very resilient. They want to win. They hate to lose. Obviously we get to a team meeting after a loss. Everybody's sad. Everybody's lips are poked out the way they should be upset. But they are trained very well to understand that you got to flip the script and get back at it. I thought the vibe was really good on both offense and defense. I thought the guys came out and did exactly what we needed to do last night to, turn the page and move on.
Coach, is there any update on Shy Wertz or any of the players that are kind of iffy for this Saturday?
Yeah, Shy didn't practice yesterday, and that was intentional. He's going to be day to day. He's hurting. So again, I'm not going to say that he's going to play or he's not going to play because we're going to have to see what he looks like on Tuesday and kind of keep going from there. But right now, if we're going to play today, that he would not. Then as far as everybody else, I think we're as healthy as we can be. We've obviously the ones that we've lost for the seasons that, that's still the same deal. But, there's a lot of guys beat up. There's a lot of guys bruised just because, we're going into really, I believe, 14 straight weeks. And, so we got to be very smart with them this week. We got to make sure that we're able to get our work in, make sure that we're very understanding of how physical we can be at practice and to make sure that we can get to the game and be able to perform.
Hey, Coach, is it tough to walk the line with Shy? You know what a warrior he is. He's going to want to play no matter what. Walk the line between your loyalty to him and how much he's meant to this program, and then having to tell him maybe for the betterment of the team, we may need Tomlin or Kennerson to play and need you to sit out.
Yeah, I think those are real conversations because, especially, changing coordinators right now, we're going to do different things. I mean, we're going to throw wrinkles out there. You know what I mean? Now, we're not going to make a wholesale change or anything like that because that's not fair to our guys. Our guys have got a lot of invested reps on things, but there's going to be wrinkles. And, if Shy's not able to practice those things and get the timing right and make sure that we're hitting on all cylinders as an offense, I think that's a very real conversation of what is best for our football team. The heart, the warrior spirit, the want to, the leader that he is, there's no question we want him to play, but we do got to make decisions of what's best for our football team, and I think we're going to have to gauge that daily. Justin Tomlin's got to go into this week going, I'm the guy. Like he needs to know that. And we got to make sure we have that conversation with Justin so that, it's not, Shy's not practicing, but he's going to play. And I think that's important, but I think it's also important to leave the door open for Shy as the week progresses. Hey man, if you can get these reps in, then, you're going to have your opportunity.
Do you think it's different if Tomlin knows he's going to be starting from the get-go as opposed to throwing him into a game late in the game and expecting?
I do. Justin's been thrown into a couple different situations the last 2 weeks of high pressure situations and was not the starter going into the game. And I do think that's a little bit different. Now, sometimes things work out for you in those situations because you are prepared, and Justin prepares every week. There's no question, but I do think there's a mindset thing of I'm the guy or I'm not the guy. So I do think it's important that we get that figured out pretty quickly, with Shy and with JT. But I don't want to make that decision till, yesterday. That's normally a day. If we got some guys banged up, we got them hurt, we don't put them out there on a Sunday. I think Tuesday is the big day that we really got to look at that. Y'all must have got all out of me yesterday, man.
Florida Atlantic, what do you expect? They look like on paper they're a pretty strong defense, and offensively they've struggled.
Yeah, still looking at them, trying to figure them out. Very athletic. It looks like they've recruited well. 5-1. That's important. And their only loss being to Marshall, which I do think is a really good football team. Because I've watched them a couple times this year. Watching them for Florida Atlantic, obviously right now, and then when we were going to play App, watching that one. Early on in the season. So I don't, the biggest thing that I would say about them is I think that defensively they're very physical. They run around well. They got a great scheme. I think they've got guys that can make plays, can cause a lot of havoc. Offensively, it's a quarterback generated offense, and they've played several quarterbacks, and they'll play a couple quarterbacks in a game. But anytime that you play a dual threat quarterback, a guy that's asked to throw and a guy that's asked to run, I think you've got to be very mindful of that, because now it's not just a one-dimensional team. So far what we've watched, I think impressive, and I think it'll be a great challenge coming in here at Paulson. And let's, and again, we're regardless of the opponent, man, we need to get the bad taste out of our mouth and try to go get this win.
Yeah, Coach, going off that, I know back when you were originally supposed to play FAU, there was some frustration over the game kind of getting canceled last minute or postponed, excuse me. And now, hindsight 2020, this could have been an off week where you prepare for App State, kind of get Doug as OC and sort of work out some of the kinks in practice. But you just said this is a great chance to get the taste out of your mouth. So kind of where do you fall on having this game? I know maybe a couple of days ago, it would have been, hey, we'd love to have a full week to prepare for App State and get some injuries figured out and stuff like that. But kind of where do you stand on it now?
Well, I think it's a hard question, because there's so many positives to having an off week. But because of what has transpired, one, losing a football game, it's hard to wait 2 weeks to play a game. But also two, making a change at coordinator spot. Yes, you could take 2 weeks, really get everything kind of niced up and ready. But I think the ability to try to get out there, try to get whatever the new wrinkles are going to be, start working on those things, and then go into a game and do it, I think that kind of outweighs having the off week. But again, when you go back to the injury piece, I'd take the off week every day of the week just to try to get our guys healthy.
Coach, a couple of weeks ago against Army, you said we really need this win because we don't want to leave anything in the hands of the bowl committees as far as possibly not getting one. Do you feel like you have to win one of these next 2 games in order to secure yourself for the bowl?
I do. I don't, I don't ever want to sit there and go, and I know everybody's bowl eligible, which again, that makes it a little bit hard too, but I don't ever want to sit here and say 6 wins is enough. And I wouldn't do that anyway at Georgia Southern. We got to win them all. And, we're going to concentrate on getting number 7 this week, try to go 1-0 this week. And then we'll let that bowl thing play out. But I do think it's important that we're able to win, because I think that will matter.
Y'all often talk about, the power of Paulson and winning, for your home fans. And, it's been almost 14 years since Georgia Southern last lost to a non-conference opponent in Paulson. What makes playing in Paulson Stadium, playing in Statesboro so difficult for their teams?
Well, our environment, and what's been amazing, I've been here when there's been 25,000 people in there, and like this year when there's 5,000. I mean, it's just, the environment's just different, man. And you walk in, I think the mystique, the tradition, the history, I think some teams don't understand it until they get here. And they don't understand the energy that kind of flows through us, as we play this game. I'm excited too, because it's at night, man. Playing under the lights is something that our guys enjoy too. And so, I think the big piece is just what Georgia Southern history has been, and what it means to our guys to continue to try to add to that win total in Paulson. I think that matters, and I think that our guys really take that to heart each and every time they play at home.
What do you think of the LED lights that are going crazy? You know, after quarters and stuff. We've only gotten to see them, I think, once this year because of the Thursday night game. You know, what are your thoughts on the light shows?
I thought that was a great touch, man. I think that adds extra excitement for our fans, and I know it's cool for our guys. You know, it's something that is just different and new. So I really like it. I think it's a neat deal.
The past week, have you been able to talk to, you know, some of the guys that were, you know, arrested last weekend or last Monday and Tuesday?
I try to stay in touch with all of them. You know, I really can't comment on anything with that, but I do my best to try to, you know, at least stay in touch because you know, guys, you know, and again, there's no, you know, I can't sit here and judge anybody. There's nothing been, you know, finalized or anything like that. And, you know, I just want to make sure that they know that I support them. You know, if there's something is, you know, and they're guilty, then, you know, obviously actions have to be taken. If they're not guilty, then not, you know, and that's just how it is. But, you know, I'm never going to turn my back on somebody. You know, I'm going to love them. I'm going to care for them in the way that I can. You know, your hands get tied a little bit when it's a legal situation, and you have to, you know, you got to let the process play out. But again, I try to be as best as I can with that. And, you know, sometimes it's not as doable because of the situations they're in, and you're not as able to have as much contact with them. But I do try. I do.
The indefinite suspensions, just speaking in generalities about that, if there was a chance that the players should come back with this season with just 2 regular season games left and then the bowl game, how much time would they need to be able to be football ready? From these guys are all upperclassmen. Would they be able to come back quicker? How much notice would they need?
Well, you know, with the policies that are in place with our athletic department and the indefinite suspensions, you know, again, you have to let everything play out. If there were to be you know, an opportunity for them to come back and them to play, I don't think that it would be too hard for those guys just because of the experience they have. But again, you know, having layoff does hurt sometimes because you end up being a little bit rusty, and you know you're not just doing football every day, and that would be hard too. But again, I can't speculate on anything, and we'll let it play out, and we'll continue to try to support our guys as best we can during this situation. Just want to make one more announcement if y'all don't have any other questions. You know, we've had Carter Barfield on our staff as a special teams analyst. We're going to bump Carter up and take over tight end responsibilities on the field for us. You know, we're going to be creative with the tight ends. You know, as with Coach Roos having coached them previously, we'll make sure that Coach Barfield's caught up, coached up on everything. But he'll be the guy that we add to the field to help us finish off this season. So I just want to make sure everybody was aware of that.
Kind of just really, you know, quick touching on special teams. You know, Alex Rayner, you know, missed a couple field goals. How do you keep his, you know, mindset and spirits up? You know, it's only his first season. You know, Dylan Lewis also only a freshman. You know, how do you keep those guys' spirits up and not, you know, dwelling too much on missed plays?
Well, you know, when you really look at Alex Rayner's field goals and what he's missed and what he hasn't missed, I think as a freshman, you know, he's exceeded expectations as far as a freshman goes. You know, obviously we would love to not have the miss at Louisiana. We would love not to have the miss at Coastal, and then, you know, the miss at Army, and then not getting the opportunity at Army. Those things hurt. You know, those 2 kicks at Georgia State, you know, we put him out there to give him that opportunity, but one was a 52-yarder and one was a 48-yarder. You know, if we're a little bit to the right with that 52-yarder, that's a heck of a kick. and then he came up short on the 48-yarder. So it's hard to get a little bit, there's been a couple short ones that got missed that we would like to have back. But when you look at the overall picture of what he's done this year, I think that the sky's the limit for him. I think he can continue to get better, and I think he can make those kicks in pressure situations. Because what I do see out of him is he never quits. He comes back. He responds at practice. And he tries to make sure he comes back stronger. He's got a good mentality of, I'm only as good as my next kick. He doesn't linger in the past of the last one. And then as far as Dylan Lewis goes, the whole plan from the beginning, bringing him in, was to, try to ease him in with kickoffs. We've been able to do that. He's done a good job with the kickoffs, but he has been inconsistent on some. That's hurt us a little bit with our coverage piece and field position stuff. And we got to continue to get better. There have been thoughts about, letting him kick field goals. But I don't think that he's shown in practice the consistency that Alex Rayner has. And, that's a good battle each and every week, and we'll continue to look at that. But right now, Alex Rayner continues to kick the field goals and extra points, and Dylan will continue to hit the kickoffs for us.
Is there any thought to use Dylan for the longer field goals that you might have?
There is, that was something that we talked about early in the year. But again, you got to base off fact. You can't just sit there and say, well, because he does have a really strong leg, that he needs to be that guy on the long field goals, because he does need to show in practice that he can hit them. And I think that's the big piece right now, is just consistently showing that in practice that he's the guy. But again, I'm not opposed to running him out there for a long one, because he does have the leg strength to do it for us. All right. Is that all you got?
Thanks.
All right. Thank y'all. GATA.